very welcome, Josefa and Dora, to our interview about your amazing architecture classes that you are having online for children. So I would like to start with asking you both, Josefa and Dora, to tell me a bit about yourself and how the whole idea got started.
Okay, I'll start with that. Let's see, I received a master's degree at North Carolina State University School of Design, which is now called the College of Design. And it's a great design school, by the way. And then for about 20 plus years, I've been working on basically commercial properties, office buildings, restaurants, golf course, lounges, and retail spaces. First the exterior of the building sometimes, but most of my focus has been on the interior of the buildings.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dora. So Josefa, what about you?
Well, I am a Chilean architect and photographer. I studied in Chile and in Italy, and now I'm living in Portugal, working as a freelance architect and photographer. And due to all the pandemic situation, I was looking for new job opportunities, and I found Dora's project, and that's how I came in.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So Dora, we are listing 101 architecture on my Kitsi because I'm not just myself being an architect also, but I think it's a brilliant idea to introduce children and teens at an early age. So what inspired you to, from being an architect, starting this company?
It just happened when my daughter was in third grade, and I went in to do what architects do session, and that ended as a long-term, semester-long town planning class. And after seeing the students' response, they were so positive and excited about it that the school asked me to stay on and offer after-school classes. And then that just continued. I did this part-time on the side as I was working full-time as an architect. And now it's become full-time online due to COVID.
Fantastic. And why do you think it's really interesting to teach children from a young age? Because, in general, children, actually not children, young adults go to architecture schools to have their first experience with architecture. Why do you think it's so interesting that you can start it at a really early age? And what would be the age you start to teach online architecture?
We start with students who are 8 years old and continue through students who are in high school. And I think, well, first of all children are creative. We're all creative. And fortunately, children still hold on to that creativity. And I think they like the challenge between the challenge in terms of critical thinking and creative thinking and coming up with solutions after being presented with, for instance, what airports do and how they function, and giving them a little bit of a design challenge. They love that and they flourish and they get all excited about drawing and making models. So yeah, I just think it's a natural, it's something that I think people in general like doing.
Excellent. So Josefa, what do you think can children learn through these classes that go beyond architecture and in their experiences at an early age? How is it transferable maybe to other skills they learn, especially because, as I understand, you're teaching the technical skills and 3D drawings and CAD drawings. Maybe you can let us know a bit about that.
Well, I think something that they learn a lot is confidence and tolerance to frustration. They see these children, they have piano lessons, architecture lessons, sport lessons. They are filled with classes all day. and they are afraid to make mistakes generally. And when they come to our class, we encourage that they try new things, that they experiment, and they are very afraid of that. And once they get over that, it's great, it's amazing, and I'm sure that's a valuable skill, like in everything.
Yes, I totally agree. I find it really enriching to have these offerings for children at an early age. What about, can you give us like an example how the classes look like? What do you exactly teach? How does it start? What does it evolve into? And are there follow-up classes? Yeah, maybe both of you can say something on that subject.
So we have different subjects and they have to decide a subject. So for example, it can be ecological houses, hotels, bases on Mars, it can be anything. So we introduce the subject and then they start developing their own project. So we teach them how to draw. There's generally a scale exercise that they draw the room so they understand how you draw a plan, how you draw a door, the logics in these drawings. And then they start to develop their own project with drawings and a model. That's
Very
basically.
And Dora, would you like to add something on that?
No, I think that Josefa has answered the question perfectly. That's exactly what we do.
So Josefa, how do you teach the coding online, the CAD drawings? Would you say that it's more challenging than being with them in physical, vicinity, or what would you say is your experience on that?
I think CAD drawing, it's very easy to teach it online, especially with the modality in Zoom that they can share their screen. So they can share it, and you can also get like control of their screen. So it's super easy. If they become frustrated, I just show to them, this is what you do, this is what you don't. And we also do this generally through SketchUp, which is a very easy program to learn. It's useful in design, engineering, on many things, and it's very intuitive, visual. So it's not too technical, and the children, they can see right away what they're building. So it's very good.
Very good, thank you. And at the end of taking these classes, what do they deliver? What's the result? Because very often it's interesting to see what they are working towards and to have something more tangible. So what would that be in those classes?
So in the CAD classes or generally in all the classes?
No, in general. So maybe you can both say something to that subject.
Yeah, so Dora?
Well, they start out doing sketches after we present information on the subject. For instance, if it's sustainable houses, and we'll provide them with examples and about how architects now approach sustainability. And then we have them, if they're working on a house, if that's what they choose to do, then they'll do sketches just to kind of loosen up and get some preconceived ideas out of the way. And then before they get too involved in the drawings, then we introduce them to scale drawing, where they will draw the room they're in to scale, just using graph paper and a tape measure. And once they get that, then we continue with either drawings, more extensive drawings, and hopefully some areas drawn in scale, and a finished board, or they can continue with a model or do both.
Okay, thank you very much. How do you see the interest in pursuing architecture in life later on? Like an 8-year-old, do you have already like an idea about how many would really go and study this, are so excited about it? What is your experience with that?
And I've been very surprised at the response. Even students who are 8 years old, they are aware of and very interested in architecture, and you will see students throughout that age range who already know that's what they want to do. One of my students, for instance, she's started her own little firm with her best friend, an architecture firm. And so I think most of them are already excited about it, and I'm just amazed at their awareness. what I think it brings to any student at any age is more of an awareness of their built environment and how they respond to it and the context that the building is in. I also think they have a greater understanding of scale and a little bit more about mathematics and the use, what you can really do with a ruler. And I think it also helps them develop critical thinking skills, which is something that unfortunately is lost in terms of required curriculum. So I think we offer that as well.
Oh, I think this this kind of emphasizes my conviction that if we introduce more variety to children at a younger age, they can find their, their passion in life and don't have to wait until they're like young adults to do so. So I think that's fascinating. How do you see, how has COVID affected your teaching? And has it been really so negative, or could you say you cope with it, and from the offline classes, it wasn't really a big problem to transfer them online?
It was not difficult to do that. I miss the one-on-one interaction and seeing their response, quickly seeing their response. And I miss that they are not always able to see what I'm doing, because when I'm working with them in person, I would be drawing and making models with them. But what we're trying to do to that extent is, we both try to show them what we're doing, but also I'm starting to create YouTube videos so they can see how to draw a line or how to draw to scale or how to start a model, so that it kind of makes up for them not being right there next to me, seeing what I'm doing along with them.
Very good, very interesting. So my last question is always, what kind of impact, and this is to both of you, would you like to have with the work you're doing? Because you got passionate, to be really an innovator in terms of teaching much younger children than normally. So what is the impact you like to have in the future? And maybe Dora, you start, and then Josefa, you take on.
Well, what I want them to leave our classes with is just simply more of an awareness of what is around them in their environment. And also, even though a lot of students are already onto this, help them understand too about our resources and sustainability, which is something that's on all of their minds, it seems like. But greater awareness too of how they can give in terms of saving our resources and using them wisely.
Great, thank you very much. Maybe 1 more minute, your opinion, Josefa, please.
Yes, I would like this project to grow and reach not only particular children, which is great, but I think it would be great to reach institutions, maybe NGOs, or have a larger impact in terms of number of kids, because right now we are making this with very, very few of them. And I think it's an ability, it's an area that, as you said, people come to know when they go to university. And sometimes, for example, you have hyperactive children, they don't do well at school. And when they come to this, they flourish, they see it's amazing, they have this ability. So it would be great to being able to reach more people.
Well, thank you very much. I totally agree. I think it's a very good example to show how at an early age we can inspire children, and that, we can also implement importance of, for example, like you said, sustainability. So future architects are automatically going to be aware more about the built environment and going to start to do the research at a very early age, and not, like when they're already formed into their profession. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I hope we can help you grow, and I hope to see the scale and that many children can benefit, and that we have these little, architects going to do amazing work in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Bye.